some more rural schools. The lower left in the silver, you can't see it real well. It's just a mud hut made out of wood and mud, and it can be pretty primitive. But in these areas, that even though there are no Christian Science churches or reading rooms or anything, individual Christian scientists actually play a very large healing role. The Basisana is the Lozi language in Zambia, and it means young girls. And our foundation is helping a Christian scientist actually. All of the gray dresses are actually school uniforms. A Christian scientist purchased all of those, paid for the making of a dormitory, which is upper right-hand corner, where the girls will sleep at night. Lower left is this Christian scientist gave them, beds and blankets and all of that. That normally young girls in rural areas of Africa, as soon as they hit puberty, they become pregnant, and then they don't go to school, and they don't ever get a job, and it's a vicious cycle of poverty and ignorance. And so this is a program that's helping a great deal to end that. And so in the right-hand corner bottom, the girls have these shirts that I was praying in terms of how to be able to support this program, and the director of one of the local Chase banks called me up, and he said, "I've been hearing from my employees that you do work in Africa." He said, "We took over the former Washington Mutual Bank, and we have all of the blouses and shirts from Washington Mutual that we want to throw away." And everybody screamed, "Don't throw it away, give it to Africa." And so he said, "I found out that you are a conduit to send these things to Africa." So we gave these shirts, these blouses, they all say WAMU on them. But that we were the means of getting it there. It's the kind of program that we like to support. It's a self-help program that the people made the hut. They put the mud on it. Now, the lower corner picture of the 6 men, of all the people in the village, only 6 men helped with this project that are keeping girls from becoming pregnant when they hit puberty. But these are some of the women, the bigger picture, that helped. The women were thrilled that we were doing this project. So in both pictures, the WAMU shirts were the reward for helping themselves and helping their own children. And so those didn't even come over on the container. I went and I took 3 huge suitcases full of WAMU shirts to Africa. And Customs says, "What do you have in your suitcases?" No, I'm not starting a bank. Another thing that Christian Scientists have been so wonderful in contributing is used clothing. And they're actually, I think it was someone down in San Diego actually went out and purchased new children's clothing to send on our container last year, which was really beautiful. This one is actually a Christian Science church, the one in the red in Zambia, in Lusaka, Zambia. And so in that church, all of the members and all the visitors are black. Many of them are undereducated, and many of them are very poor. And so it's nice for a program like this for Christian Scientists to aid Christian scientists in other countries, so that they all knew that all of us love and care for them, that we're part of the same family. So with all of the clothing and supplies, they went first to the Christian Science churches, second to the regular attendees and all that, third to, things like the torture victims and the other people like that, and then out to other people. I don't know if you can see in the picture on the right, the little boy, he's wearing milk cartons on his feet. you see the feet and the bottom, that's a child's feet. They go barefoot through most of southern Africa. And so it was nice to be able, a lot of people did donate shoes and things. Now this is in Zimbabwe. Most of the things on the container went to Zimbabwe last year. And this is entitled My Mother's Blouse, because if you see the woman in the black and white checkered blouse, we donated that, my family, to the container. And so I went out to this very, very poor valley it's about an hour drive west of Harare. And she was the oldest person in the valley, so they, through deference, had me visit her first. So I walk up to her and just go, oh my gosh, it's my mother's blouse. And so the thing is, when she found out it was my mother's blouse, she had to get up and dance for me and sing. And so these people up on top, the white man there is the man who got the container into Zimbabwe and made sure that it got around, and he got to keep the container. We purchased the container. It was refrigerated. So all the Christian Science literature went to Africa refrigerated. Not really. But we gave him, he's a farmer, and he grows beef, chicken, vegetables, potatoes, corn. And we gave him the container, and that actually a Christian Science foundation in Northern California called the Zarephath Foundation were the ones that funded that. And so that container that Christian Scientists sent to Africa is feeding thousands of Africans every single day as he's taking food to market. And he had not been able to find a refrigerated unit. And so all of them felt that that was the answer to prayer. And so these are people just making a house. They're also recipients. What was interesting is I was going through, and these people, like these ones lined up, that are wearing some clothing that we actually donated, they found out who we were, who I was, and they were just thanking me. And I said, I didn't bring all these. There are an awful lot of people, and they're almost all Christian Scientists that donated these things, donated money, you know. And I said, I'm the lucky one that gets to come and face you and say, we love you. But it's all of us that love you, and it's showing that it's the family of God, that each one of us here cares for them and cares that we get things there. But but the one thing I wanted to say was, what was so interesting was that with this foundation, it's not just humanitarian, as wonderful as that is, because the people that, you know, I would go see like this in these little huts in the middle of nowhere, they all heard about a healing in that area that I'm going to tell about at the end. And so they would say, oh, this is the healer. And they'd say, my husband's sick, can you come please? You know, oh, well, I've had this, you know, problem with my arm. Well, I'm going blind. I spent the entire afternoon healing people. And this is in the middle of nowhere. It's not in a big city. These people are not educated. You know, they're scratching out, eking out their existence. But Christian Science was reaching them and healing them. And there were some really wonderful healings.